Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarappal, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. Yippee! It's that time of the week again. Whoop whoop! Time for you and me to find out about the change makers in the world today, who are being the change that they want to see in the world, who are blazing their own trails and living life on their own terms. Isn't that wonderful? Yes, please. Now, today's guest wanted to be a ballerina dancer with ballet shoes and a tutu when she was younger, and she loved how graceful it made her feel. What she found, however, is how she felt more like Master Shifu from Kung Fu Panda, the animation, because he could see in Po what others couldn't. He could empower Po to believe in his abilities. Something that our next guest is implementing very carefully today. Now, for the past 20 years, our next guest has helped people overcome all sorts of issues that have troubled them, embarking on a series of courses, obtaining qualifications in various fields, including aromatherapy massage, hypnotherapy, touch for health, kinesiology, and spiritual healing. And it was here that our guest discovered that she could somehow feel, hear, and know what her clients needed in order to help them. She could sense the energy field of that person and where it was in their body that needed balancing. But, my dear listeners, this is the fun part. Something started to dominate her thoughts. It was the pets of the people she was healing. And by using her gift of intuitive guidance, found herself concentrating exclusively on animal communication rather than the healing of people. So we have our own Dr. Doolittle in the house today, Yahoo! For which I'm super excited about. So what do you say we delve into the world of animal communication and why the role we play as animal guardians, I love this term, is just as important. So put your ears and hearts together for the one and only Joanne Yeoh. Hello, Joanne.
Hello, Sashka. Thank you so much for that fabulous introduction.
It's a pleasure. It was fun doing it as well. And it's so fun. One-on-one. Yeah, it's like so one-on-one. So for the listeners, when you see Joanne's photo, I have the video in front of me, so I'm interviewing her via video, but you only hear the audio. So when you see her and you read this, and we'll go through the interview, it's like one-on-one. There's no doubt, no shadow of doubt happening over here. So tell us, share with us, where are you in the world today?
Well, I live in Durham. I moved here last year in the UK, and I live within a community and share the grounds that used to be a farm many years ago. And part of the grounds that I'm in, we have a priory. So it's a very special place.
Oh, wow. What was the priory for? Or do you still use it today or no?
Oh, no, it's not. I mean, it's for, the tourists will come and see it. And it's situated where there's a river walk and there's woodlands. But yes, it has a history where people would come to the priory, or the monks would go there for, to rest from their journey.
Wow.
But it does create a lovely environment.
What called you there?
Oh, life, a chance of an opportunity to move somewhere. And to add the juice to my story, I now live 2 miles apart from my long lost sister. We, didn't have any contact for about 30 years. So circumstances just came together. And I found this place to live, and it's 2 miles apart from her after 30 years of not being together. And we now have, we're building our sister relationship.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I read that in the information that you sent me. And I mean, when people think of healing, they think of sickness and disease. And when we delve into this world of healing, it's not just healing of that part, but it's also a lot of emotional healing, which is actually the physical part of all the sickness and disease is really from the metaphysical side, a physical representation of what's going on with us emotionally, which you also healed, and with the animals as well. So why were you separated for 30 years? This was really intriguing for me. I'm like, And
Well,
what was the emotional healing that you went through and have used that information as well in your work and in your life today?
Well, I would say that story probably needs a different interview because of the length of time it might take. However, we actually did our own healing whilst we were separated. So what's
Wow.
made it wonderful and in a way very easy to reunite is because we'd already established our own healing journey. So coming together is a fresh start. Coming together is a way of moving forward, having left behind. So we didn't need to meet or to be together in order to heal, which I think has made the relationship so much, like I say, easier, and it flows. So we're actually having fun. I'm teaching her about animals, and she teaches me about dance because she does a Lindy jazz dance. So there's a little bit of dance, a little bit of ballet in me that wants to bounce up and down. Don't wear a tutu anymore. She has bought me some special shoes. So there you go. So little bits of our past come into play.
Oh, I love it. I was wondering, so those are the videos that I see online. I'm like, oh, you're dancing with your sister. No, nothing's a ding, ding, ding. I love that. So explain to those who've never heard what an animal guardian communicator is and does, and why you'd want to communicate with your animal. Why do you want to communicate with your animal? Why do you need a communicator? Like, why? Why don't you just humanize animals? And their communication.
Yeah.
There's a big
And we do that. We do that. We really want to humanize them because I think of the connection that we feel. I mean, we're looking at, my area of work mainly will be with dogs, cats, horses, and say guinea pigs. So more the pets. Yes, we do try to humanize them because of what they actually give to us that we don't see and perhaps are not aware of. So they give us a lot of emotional fulfillment. They give us a sense of companionship that we can't sometimes get from another human being. They give us understanding. We know that they give unconditional love. We're forever forgiven by them. Whatever mood we're in, however we've been with them, whether we've been, say, nice to them or frustrated with them, whether we've shouted at them, whether we've hugged them, we know that they will always be there for us. But this aspect of us trying to humanize them, that's really what's my area, again, of wanting to help represent pet animals, particularly because they have to live within the environment that we provide them. Now, some of them love it. Some of them love it. They never have to hunt for food. They've got cushions and they've got, amazing food. They get taken out for trips to coffee shops, like animals in coffee shops, But there are also aspects of the way that we want them to live with us, the way we want them to fit into our world that does create issues for them. And so we start to see that they have problems. We start to see that they're not adjusting or adapting, that, say if we speak about dogs, that they bark too much or they're reactive in the park with other dogs, or we see with cats, that they don't want to come and cuddle us when we want them to, or they're not eating, or say with horses, that they start to present certain physical issues that we're not able to resolve. And what I've found, and the way that I came into the animal communication world, is purely by chance. I wasn't brought up with lots of animals in my childhood. I had a dog, and my dog was my companion because I spent quite a lot of time on my own. So my dog was like my best friend. And I don't know, I think everybody does this at some stage when they're young, that will say to our dog, go on then, say something, talk to me, can you speak? So that I think instinctively we know that there is a communication, not necessarily the language that we speak. So there is communication there. So I kind of stumbled into being able to receive feelings, imagery, physical sensations, sounds, smell and taste from animals. And by just lots of practice and just the openness to understand them and listen to them and see the world from their perspective, I'm able to piece together the information that they send me so that I can relay it in the best way that I can to their, human family, so that they get to say the things they want to say and express how they feel about their environment and their family.
I love that. I can imagine that it's there may be a little bit of conflict because it sounds idyllic. It sounds perfect. And what most animal guardians don't want to hear is that the problem is actually with them and not necessarily with the pet. So how do you confront when that happens? So when your animal is sick or is not wanting to eat, there's an emotional disconnect between the owner and the leader of the pack and the animal. And because they can't speak, they have this reaction. But the cause, in inverted commas, is the animal guardian. So how do you deal with that? Especially with resistance, because there's probably a lot of resistance, like, no, that couldn't possibly be.
I actually found the opposite. Yeah, when I started, I thought, oh, yes, am I going to relay that the dog is, not wanting to go to a certain place because he doesn't like an aspect of it, yet the human guardian who takes him there really loves it and loves being with her friends. Why can't her dog be with her? But actually, by the time people seek me out and my services, they're really at that place where they've tried everything to try and bring harmony into the relationship. And everyone they really truly love their animal, even if they don't know how to, even if they go, oh, he's driving me mad, or she always scratches the furniture. But actually underlying it, underpinning all of that, the amount of care and love we hold for animals. So by the time people seek animal communication, they're really at that place where they want a deeper understanding. I think we're coming to a kind of an environment now where people may be more aware about animal communication quicker. So they may seek that understanding. But usually, if you've never heard of animal communication before and you've never experienced it, you do come across it when you're kind of at the end of your tether, so particularly when your pets are unwell. Nothing really makes us spring into action to try and help them. And we would do anything. And that means putting aside our own opinions about who's right, who's wrong. Our animal comes first. So I'm very blessed at the work I do. And this is why it brings in all my kind of past experiences about wanting to nurture and empower people. Same with animals, that when we come to a place where all you want to do is help your animal, you will want to have those insights to help empower your choices that you want to give to your animals, and vice versa.
I love that. And it also it's remote and online. So everything, remote and online. Yes, remote.
So I use photographs of animals.
Oh, okay. So how does it work? How does it work with you?
Yes, I actually find working with the photographs of the animals clearer. The reason for that is when I work with an animal in person, I can be distracted by their physical behavior. So, they're very excited or they're incredibly cute. Then I lose my zone. And then, and also it means that when I work with a photograph, I'm not influenced by body language. Sometimes you can't help it, but your analytical mind or your logical mind or your knowledge of, say, dog behavior or cat behavior kicks in, and you observe what they're doing, and then it might actually have some kind of influence. So I want to be completely free of being influenced. So by working with a photograph, it really is about telepathically connecting with the animal. So whether they're in the room with you or whether they're in the next country or the photograph is really for me to focus who it is. So for example, if you want me to do a communication, say you have a Labrador, and even if you describe your Labrador and give me the name of your Labrador, for me, I know there are other people there that can just do it by name. I could actually bring into my mind the wrong Labrador. Oh. I don't want to risk that. So it's more to do with about intention setting and the energy. So if I have a photograph of your dog or your cat, your horse, it helps me to focus. So then how it works for me is the information will start to flow through because I'll ask permission with the animal to say, can I connect with you? And what I always like to do is start to share with you their characteristics and their personality from their perspective. So a lot of it you'll be able to relate to, and that means I've connected to the right animal, because that's important for you if you were receiving a communication for your pet that you trust that I've connected accurately. Otherwise, I could be talking about another dog or cat somewhere else, and it may not be relevant. So that's how I start. And then it depends on the nature of the query or the communication. It might be very specific. I work very strongly within the area of health and also emotions. So that will cover behavioral or to do with chronic conditions or just to do with their body, their mind, how they feel, whether they have aches and pains. Because animals will actually, they know their bodies better than we do.
Yeah, that's so true. You've been in the field of healing for like over 2 decades, or even longer. I don't want to say trends, but what developments have you seen from when you started to where you are now? And what do you see as good or bad or could be improved on?
Yeah, when I started, I think, my first contact with healing, and it wasn't considered healing, which is interesting. Now it will be. So when I started, I learned about massage, and again, I just stumbled onto it. And then I was very intrigued with essential oils, but I loved massage, and I loved the contact that I could have, and also the information that came through when I placed my hands on somebody. But I really had no concept then that it was classified as healing. But then that led me into being very interested in spiritual healing, which I did a little bit, and kinesiology. But so what's changed, I think, is back then it wasn't considered that you were a healer. You were given the title, either a aromatherapist or a kinesiologist. But now I think any modality that we decide to study in that is holistic, that works naturally, that works with energy, I would say that's all very much about healing. For me, it's very much about working with what already exists, working and supporting our energy systems. The key is our intuition, our intuitive abilities, because we've lost that. So we might want to study healing, but actually what it is it's an experience. It's about being able to sense. So by working with animals, it's actually changed my entire life because it's made me incredibly intuitive. So every decision I make is intuitive now, whereas before I would bring in logic and then I'd argue with myself because my heart would say something, my head would say something, and then I sense all these things. It's like you meet someone and you think, oh, they speak they're going to help me with this. They're so clear that, we're going to get on. But something about the energy wasn't right, so you argue about it. So working with animals, they're completely instinctive, intuitive. And so when I'm communicating with them, they teach me that I have to open up my senses. So they've really empowered me, my own life.
I love that. I always find it cool when I'm going for a walk and then I see an owner with their dog, because you always hear, or at least I did, that the dog reflects your personality and how similar you look. And then there's often, you'll see in social media how dogs and owners look so alike, which I find really, really interesting. So when I see people, I'm always like, that's actually really true. Like how we'll choose an animal or the animal chooses us according to the personalities. Why? I love asking why. Why do they choose this? Like, why does this happen? Is it conscious or is it subconscious? It's only afterwards we're like, oh, hang on a moment. This dog looks like me.
It is fascinating, isn't it? It's a fascinating subject. I actually believe that it's both ways, that they choose us and we choose us somewhere along the lines. And I always find that, for me, I have 3 dogs. I think I need 3 dogs to represent fully who I am and fulfill those aspects, or I probably could have more. But yes, life lessons that really does take us into kind of a different discussion as well, because exactly it. Once you start to really trust the intuitive process, the energy process, we look at life differently. It becomes, more than just 3-dimensional, and animals do bring that to us because we feel certain things that we never probably would be aware of if it was just, us dealing with humans all the time. But animals bring, and nature, it's not just animals and nature bring a very different dimension to our lives. And when certain things happen, because of the very close relationship we share with our pet animals, it's constant. And we go through so much with them in quite a short space of time. And if they're there for us, we seek such comfort from them, their wisdom, the way they deal with things, even when they're not. So even if they're showing stress, it really helps us to try and kind of understand whether it's us sending that stress to them or them. And so we're far more open to having that kind of discussion in a way with them, even if we're not seeing it as a communication. We see the way they deal with life's challenges, and we do learn from them. So, and vice versa, they depend very much on us. So if they're struggling, we can show them. So there's so much sharing that we start to have our lives so intricate that we almost lead the same, not the same life, but the same lesson, because we go through it together. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, of course. Yes, it makes sense. You just, whilst you were talking, I was just thinking of something, and how, when the animals choose us and we choose the animals, is it often that the choice between the two of us isn't long term, it's short term, and then sometimes it's just not working. Something's just not. How have you come across that before?
Oh, you mean if we haven't a pet into our lives and then it doesn't work and then they need to move on to, yes, of course. And this is where animal communication, again, this is from my own experience, is very supportive of that process. To me, it needs to be non-judgmental. We bring our lives together, and we, again, as humans, we assume that anything that we do has to be right. Got to get it right. It's got to be perfect. Everybody's got to get on, and it's got to be long term. It's got to be forever. We can't bear what we see as failure if something doesn't turn out right. So when I'm approaching, I do get quite a few of these sessions where people feel so bereft because they have reached a point where they've tried behaviorists, they've tried to change environments, etc., to adapt to, say, let's use dogs, a new dog into the family, and it's just not working out. And they're really at that point where they're thinking they have to rehome that dog. The amount of guilt that these people feel. So when they seek my services, what I do is I will ask every single member of the family, all animals and humans, to express how they feel. And it's like a family discussion. I actually hold almost like a intuitive, telepathic family discussion. And everybody then has a chance to say how they feel. So I represent the animals and I'll relay it. Now, there are times I also will relay what the human is saying to the animal, because they don't always understand what it is that we're wanting from them or expecting from them. And animals always come up top when it comes to being wise. And they will say what they need. And then when there's such clarity that what they need is no longer being able to be provided, or what the people had hoped they could provide, they move on. They will say, yes, that's fine. They don't go, oh, please let me stay here forever. As long as they know they're being taken care of, as long as they know that they understand that perhaps they came to this family for a period of time, like you say, they tried, and then usually I support them through where they found another home, check that home, check how that animal feels about that home before they go there, because it's all energy. And then we usually do hear very positive stories. So it's more about us humans fearing failure and not seeing that each stage of our interaction or connection, be it with an animal or human, is there for what it holds for us. So animal communication is very supportive for that process. I like to work it particularly with animals who are unwell or they have to leave the earth, whereby when you have communication, you don't have to suffer with uncertainty. And uncertainty creates grief, I think, or guilt. Guilt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's really deep.
Animals do not want guilt around them. They really don't. They don't like the energy of guilt. They don't actually understand guilt. So a lot of the work I do is to bring clarity and certainty or understanding. I like the word insight. And animals bring a really different perspective to us. Really, they do. So, we might think we understand them, but when they bring their insight into play, you kind of go, oh my goodness. And, you never view your pet the same again after a communication.
That's so true. Joanne, tell me, who is it that we all need to have our own personal growth. So whilst you're doing this work with the animals and with the animal guardians, how are you growing within yourself? Who do you admire in your circle, outside of your circle, people that you know or don't know? Who inspires you in your growth? in your communication?
Yes. Well, within the work that I do, I am very blessed to, animals bring, connect our paths, especially with people who are like-minded. So I'm very into people who, again, want to give out, animals a voice, choices, who just absolutely adore them, can't live without them, that kind of thing. But I have colleagues that I share a lot of common values and beliefs with. I have a friend who's into zoopharmacognosy, a colleague. So, she's very supportive. Now, both of us also share our desire to be successful businesswomen, doing work that we love, because that's the other aspect of why I'm doing animal communication, because I want to do work that I love. I want to create a lifestyle that I feel proud and I can provide for my own family, my dogs, doing what I love. So both of us share our love for animals, but also a desire to make it in the business world in a very authentic way.
Yes, yes.
And those that inspire me, I tell you who inspires me, people who provide hospice care for animals. That is really was the game changer for me, because that really honors our pet animals, very much to the end, because we can find out from them what they want in their senior years and what they need when their bodies are declining, and not just to be given only one option. So the people who work in hospices really, inspire me. And I know a couple of people that, do that. I don't know. Should I name them?
If you want, yeah.
I would like to name the people that have been kind of like my foundation or my support network. So Rachel Windsor-Knott, who is the lady who does the botanical self-selection. She's a good friend of mine as well as a colleague I admire. Gail Pope, who runs the Bright Haven Hospice. I went to her when my own cat was, life was hanging in the balance. And my cat said to me, I'm not going to leave this physical world. And two vets said he should be put to sleep. He had a terrible accident and he really was in a physical mess. And when I contacted Gail, it was like, oh, it's fine. Cats, no bladder control, can't walk. We can take care of them. We can help you take care of them. And you know what? Yeah, my cat walked. My cat regained bladder control. So, it was just a way that they didn't view animals who weren't fully, with full mobile, or, they just thought that we take care of them. We just take care of them. And so, yes, so people who run hospices, there's a lady who props me up in terms of my health. She's called Carol Love, and I don't understand what she does. What she does well. She runs, she kills me, but probably kill me for saying you don't understand. I book something called biofeedback sessions from her. And she runs my frequency through whatever she does and sends me sound frequencies. Now, because I'm so, able to be so intuitive in my senses, I know it works. And she keeps me upright. And, and the way she runs the gong baths, and she's got 2 dogs that I've communicated with, just her energy and her love for life and wanting, again, to be successful in our work as women and doing what we love. So probably could name a whole lot. It feels like an Oscar, sorry.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love it. And as all Oscars,
we all need our team.
Yes. Well, we all need to be change makers together and not on islands. It's very, very important. It's what change makers tend to be taught, because we're such strong people that we work on islands, but what we need is support. And that's also what the animals teach us, as a pack leader, you're a pack leader. Yeah. So bringing everyone together. So coming to the end, I have 2 questions that I'd like to ask you. And one of them being, how do you want to change or challenge the world doing what you do?
Ooh, that's a good one. Change or challenge, perhaps both. To really understand that we are in a partnership. Whoever we invite to live with us or for us to share our lives with, we are in partnership. So before animal communication, I did view that I owned my dogs and I was totally 100% responsible for all the decisions I make. And actually, by sharing a life, it's very much about a partnership, and in a way that kind of extends from learning that in a very small way, just in my own little life, that's allowed me to expand out and realize, actually, that's the same with my neighbors. That's the same with my, with the next town, with the next county, with the next, my neighboring kind of. So it's all about learning to be, like you say, we're not an island. It's about reaching out for support and networking in a way that's very, I always like the word authentic. So as long as you can be yourself, animals teach us to be ourselves. No fooling. There's no fooling an animal. They can sense your energy. So how I want to change and challenge the world is to view nature, animals, all species to be our partners.
I love that. And living as one. I like that. I'd like your viewpoint on 3 of my values. So you fill in the blank. So creativity for you is?
Creativity is dance.
Oh, cool. Passion for you is?
Fire.
Wisdom for you is?
Energy.
Oh, that was really good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joanne, for being here with us today and sharing your insights and your partnership with the animals, with animal guardians, your mediation between the 2 or 3 worlds, and bringing that and honoring your intuition. And for our listeners, you can find out more about Joanne on animalcommunicationinsights.com. That is her website. And you'll find her also on social media. She has a freebie, I believe, as well. Would you like to mention that? I think it's a 5-day challenge or something.
Yes, it's a 5-day. Again, I'm keen to help people deepen their intuitive senses. So I actually created 5, I call them, unique because I created them, visualizations. And it's a 5-day free learning, as I call it, that you join my Facebook group. And in that 5 days, I share with you those visualizations. But I'm also there live with live videos, so you can interact with me. That if you want to learn more about how to communicate with your pets, then I'm there to support you.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here with us today. In the show notes, you'll also find out where the links are to Joanne and also about the challenge, the 5 visualizations and the Facebook group. And just get in contact with her. Reach out if you need her mediation, health, emotional. That's where you can find her. Thank you so much, Joanne.
My pleasure.
Have an awesome day. And to my listeners, I'll see you next week. Love you lots. Bye-bye. Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.